Welcome back to the channel USAX Coins. Today we are talking about a 50-cent coin that most people toss in a drawer, some spend without thinking, and a few lucky collectors quietly pull out and smile. The United States of America 1972 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark. And here's the shocker, one tiny missing detail on this coin can change everything. Today we are revealing why the 1972 D Kennedy half is still hunted today, what small details separate common from collectible, how real mint mistakes slipped through, and why staying until the end matters if you ever want to know what this coin is truly worth. Today we are bringing the coin close to the camera, and right away that large silver-colored size grabs attention, heavy, bold, and unmistakably American, yet many people don't realize this is not a silver coin, it's a copper nickel-clad half dollar. And that surprise alone already confuses most collectors. Today we are flipping the coin to the front, where John F. Kennedy's portrait appears calm and powerful, a design introduced after his assassination and instantly embraced by the public, and as the light moves across the surface, you can see how sharp hair details and clean fields make a huge difference. Today we are turning the coin over slowly, because this is where the real story starts. The presidential seal with the eagle, shield, and stars looks normal at first glance, but this is the exact spot where collectors zoom in closer than ever. Today we are focusing on the area below the eagle's right leg, because this is where the designer's initials should be, the tiny letters FG, and here's the twist, some 1972 D Kennedy halves were struck without those initials at all. Today we are pausing here for a second, because this missing FG error is one of the most talked about modern Kennedy half varieties, and many people have already handled one without realizing what they had. Today we are talking about why this error happened, because worn dies and heavy polishing at the Denver Mint removed the designer's initials, creating a coin that looks normal to the untrained eye but stands out instantly to collectors. Today we are adding another layer, because 1972 was a high production year, meaning millions of coins were made, but very few error coins survived without being damaged, scratched, or worn down. Today we are rotating the coin under good lighting, showing how condition changes everything, because a clean, uncirculated example is a completely different coin from one that's been in pockets for decades. Today we are also mentioning other known surprises, like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, weak strikes, and double details that collectors constantly search for in this year and mint. Today we are building the suspense now, because this is where most people ask the big question, is this coin actually worth keeping? Today we are finally talking real value. Because facts matter more than hype. A normal circulated 1972 D Kennedy half dollar is usually worth face value to about $1, uncirculated examples commonly sell for $3 to $8, and confirmed no FG error coins can sell for $20 to over $100 depending on condition and eye appeal. While top-grade certified examples have reached auction prices in the several hundreds, today we are wrapping this up with one clear message: this coin isn't silver, but knowledge is what gives it value. And checking one small detail can completely change the story. Today we are asking you, do you own a 1972 Kennedy half dollar? Have you ever checked for the missing FG, or which Kennedy half would you love to add to your collection next? Tell me in the comments because I want to hear it. Today we are talking about a 50-cent coin that looks ordinary, carries no mint mark at all, and has confused collectors for decades. The United States of America 1973 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark. And here's the shocker, this coin was never meant to be in your pocket in the first place. Today we are uncovering why the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is one of the most misunderstood modern US coins, how the missing mint mark tells a much bigger story, what rare surprises collectors hunt for, and why the value at the end of this video might completely change how you look at this coin. Today we are placing the coin close to the camera, and the first thing you notice is the familiar Kennedy portrait, bold, clean, and instantly recognizable. But look closely under the date, because there is no mint mark at all, and that small absence is exactly where the mystery begins. Today we are flipping the coin over slowly, letting the light move across the presidential seal, the eagle, the shield, and the stars, and at first glance it looks like a normal half dollar, but this year is anything but normal. Today we are stepping back in time, because in 1973, Kennedy half dollars were not released for general circulation, they were struck only for collectors, and most were sold in mint sets, meaning finding one loose today already raises eyebrows. Today we are focusing on the no mint mark detail, because this tells us the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and during this era, Philadelphia coins often carried no mint mark at all, which confuses people who expect every coin to have one. Today we are slowing things down right here, because this is where many people realize they may have something unusual, but not necessarily rare, and that difference matters. Today we are talking about condition, because these coins were meant for collectors. Many were carefully stored, but others were broken out of sets, spent, scratched, and handled, making high-grade examples far more desirable today. Today we are zooming in under strong lighting, looking for sharp hair details on Kennedy, clean fields, and strong lettering, because the better the condition, the more attention this coin gets. Today we are revealing one of the most exciting parts, errors, because even collector-only coins were not immune to mistakes. And 1973 halves are known for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, weak strikes, and occasional double details that collectors actively search for. Today we are pausing again, because error coins from a year not intended for circulation instantly become conversation pieces in the hobby. Today we are adding a fun fact, because this coin contains no silver at all. It is a copper-nickel clad coin, and many people still assume older Kennedy halves are silver, which leads to even more confusion. Today we are building toward the big question everyone asks: what is it worth? And this is where expectations need to stay realistic. Today we are finally talking numbers. A circulated 1973 Kennedy $half with no mint mark is usually worth face value to about $1. Uncirculated examples from mint sets commonly sell for $3 to $7. And error coins or high-grade certified examples have reached auction prices of $20 to over $100 depending on condition and the type of error. Today we are wrapping this up with one clear takeaway: this coin isn't rare because of silver or age, it's special because it wasn't meant to circulate, and knowing that story is what gives it meaning. Today we are asking you, do you own a 1973 Kennedy $half? Did you ever find one in change? Or which Kennedy half would you love to add to your collection next? Tell me in the comments because I want to hear your story. Today we are talking about a Kennedy $half that most people have seen, spent, or ignored, but very few truly understand, because this 2000 Kennedy $half with the P mint mark hides a story that separates everyday pocket change from a coin collectors quietly hunt for, and by the end of this video you might look at your $half very differently. Imagine finding a coin that looks completely normal at first glance, yet some versions were never meant for circulation at all, while others slipped through with mistakes that collectors love, and that is exactly what makes the 2000 P Kennedy $half such an interesting and misunderstood coin. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to spot this coin correctly, why some examples are far more desirable than others, what kinds of errors can turn an ordinary $half into something special. And at the very end I'll tell you what this coin is actually worth today in the real market and at auction, so stay with me. Because the twist comes later. Now let's slow down and really look at this coin, and as you're watching, imagine this coin filling the screen with a tight close-up on Kennedy's portrait, the sharp details in his hair, and that familiar strong profile that has been on the $half since 1964. The 2000 Kennedy $half from the Philadelphia Mint carries the P mint mark just above the date. And this little letter is more important than many people realize, because it tells us exactly where and how this coin was made. In the year 2000, $half were not commonly used in everyday spending anymore, which already makes finding them in circulation a bit unusual, and that alone sparks curiosity among collectors. Most people assume all 2000 Kennedy $half are the same, but that's where the story gets interesting, because Philadelphia actually struck two different versions that year. And they were made for very different purposes. The standard circulation version is a copper nickel-clad coin, with a copper core sandwiched between outer layers, and this is the type most people might find in rolls, drawers, or old collections. But here's the part that stops collectors in their tracks, because the Philadelphia Mint also produced a special 90% silver Kennedy $half in 2000, and these were not released into circulation at all. These silver versions were made specifically for collector sets, which means their mintage was much lower, and many people don't even realize they exist unless they know exactly what to look for. Picture a side-by-side shot now. showing the edge of a regular clad coin next to a silver one, where the copper stripe disappears and the silver edge looks clean and solid, and this simple edge check can tell you a lot in seconds. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where things get really exciting for collectors who love the hunt. Some 2000p Kennedy half dollars escaped the mint with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing and the blank edge shows clearly, and these instantly grab attention because no two look exactly the same. Others were struck on clipped planchets, leaving a curved bite missing from the coin, and when you see one, it almost looks like the coin was cut out by hand. There are also rare cases of missing clad layers, where one side reveals the copper core underneath, creating a dramatic color difference that collectors can spot immediately. Imagine zooming in on one of these errors with slow camera movement, showing the textures, the color changes, and the imperfect strike, because these flaws are exactly what make the coin special. What makes the 2000p Kennedy half dollar even more fascinating is its place in history, because it represents a modern era where half dollars quietly transitioned from everyday money into mostly collector pieces. This coin bridges the gap between circulation coins and collector-only issues, and that identity split is a big reason why collectors continue to search for the best examples. Condition matters a lot here, because a worn coin tells a story of use, but a sharp uncirculated example shows us exactly how the mint intended it to look. Now think about this for a moment. How many people might have spent one of these silver issues without ever realizing what they had, or overlooked an error coin thinking it was damaged? This is why I always say to slow down, look closely, and never assume a modern coin is boring. So here's my question for you. Have you ever found a Kennedy half dollar in your change or collection, and did you check the edge and mint mark before moving on? And which Kennedy half dollar would you love to add to your collection? A clean silver strike or a dramatic mint error that tells a unique story? Now let's talk value, and this is where facts matter more than hype, because real collectors care about real numbers. A standard circulated 2000p Kennedy half dollar usually sells for face value to just slightly above face value depending on condition. An uncirculated example from a roll or mint set can sell for a few dollars in the open market. The silver 2000p Kennedy half dollar, because of its silver content and lower mintage, typically sells in the range of several tens of dollars depending on condition and silver prices. Error coins are where prices vary the most, with minor errors selling for modest premiums and dramatic, eye-catching errors reaching into the low hundreds of dollars at auction when demand is strong. So today we are looking at a coin that proves you don't need to go back 100 years to find something interesting, valuable, and worth checking twice. Today we are talking about a half dollar that most people have never even seen in real life, a coin over 100 years old that quietly survived wars, recessions, and generations of collectors. The United States of America 1918 half dollar with no mint mark. And here's the shocking part. Finding one in good condition today can be like discovering hidden treasure in your own collection. Today we are revealing why this 1918 half dollar is still highly sought after, what tiny details make it stand out, how rare errors and variations increase its value, and by the end of this video I'll tell you the real market and auction prices that could make you rethink every old coin in your drawer. Now let's get a close-up on this coin, and the first thing you notice is its classic walking Liberty design, full of detail and movement, with Lady Liberty striding forward, sun rising behind her, draped in the American flag. And the artistry here is exactly why collectors still admire these coins. Over a century later, turning the coin over, you see the majestic eagle perched on a mountain pine sapling, wings spread wide, and as the camera zooms in you can see the intricate feathers and sharp lines that make this design one of the most beautiful in U.S. coinage history. The no mint mark on this coin tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And that tiny detail is crucial because it helps collectors understand rarity, mintage numbers, and potential value in today's market. Back in 1918, the United States was in the final year of World War I, and the economy, coin production, and demand for silver coins made half dollars especially important for commerce, which adds historical weight to every single coin from that year. Condition is everything with a coin this old, because many of these were circulated heavily, some melted down, some lost, so finding one with sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear instantly makes it more valuable. Now let's talk about errors. Because even coins from 1918 can surprise collectors, and some 1918 half-dollars show die cracks, double strikes, or weak strikes where the letters and numbers appear faint or slightly misaligned, and spotting these variations can turn a standard coin into a true collectible. Imagine a slow pan over a coin with a faint double date, or a slight die crack across Liberty's robe, showing the unique imperfections that make each coin a story in itself. Even the smallest details matter, like the clarity of the date, the sharpness of Liberty's hand and torch, and the crispness of the eagle's feathers, because collectors pay close attention to every line and curve. Now let's talk real numbers, because this is what everyone wants to know. A circulated 1918 half-dollar with no mint mark typically sells for about $50 to $100 depending on where. Uncirculated examples can reach $300 or more, and coins with rare errors or exceptional condition have sold at auction for over $1,000. This coin is a reminder that history survives in small, everyday objects, and even a coin you thought was ordinary can hold remarkable value and a story worth exploring. Do you own a 1918 half-dollar? Have you ever checked it closely for die cracks or double details? Or which historic US coin would you love to add to your collection next? Drop your answers in the comments because I want to hear your stories. If this video helped you see coins in a new way, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real coin stories and hidden values, and watch the next video where we uncover another coin from the past that could be sitting in your pocket or collection without you even realizing its worth.